We're here today as part of a 15-city tour to help Tennesseans understand the situation around our roads and bridges and what we need to do to maintain the level of the quality level and the safety level that we've experienced in Tennessee. So we're out talking about the need because it's really critical that Tennesseans understand how those roads and bridges get paid for and what will happen if we can't continue on our current path.
Tell us about the deficit that the state is facing. I guess we're saying that we have a large backlog of projects.
We have $6 billion in the state of Tennessee of projects that have been approved and that local communities are expecting to happen, but that we don't have funding for in our current structure. In Tennessee, we pay for our roads and bridges by the fuel tax you pay at the pump. We don't pay for it out of the general fund. But I have that, like I said, right now there's $6 billion, and that number is growing of projects that people are expecting to happen that we don't have funding for today.
Of course, I'm sure you're getting the question, does this mean we're going to raise fuel taxes?
So what we're doing is talking about what the need is, and I think Tennesseans need to understand that need first, and then we'll come back and talk about solutions. If you go to see the doctor, it's really important that they understand what the condition and disease looks like before you start prescribing what the remedy might be.
But it sounds like the current system is unsustainable as cars get better gas mileage.
There's no such thing as a free lunch, and it's a great thing that everybody's vehicle gets better mileage than it used to. But that does mean that you're paying less to use roads, which is a good thing, but that's the reality. In the meantime, only 3 states have gone longer than we have without addressing their road revenue situation.
And what about Senator Tracy has talked about the $280 million that was diverted from the highway fund to the general fund.
Right. So that happened 7 or 8 years ago, and that's worthy of discussion. In terms of should we refund that from the general fund of the transportation fund. But the important thing is for everybody to know is, while that pushes our issue out maybe a little bit, it doesn't really solve our problem. Like I said, when you have $6 billion worth of backlog projects, that's a short-term fix, but it doesn't really address the long-term need that we have.
Is that something you would endorse, support, or should we do it? Can we do it?
My argument would be, when it comes budget time, there are a lot of things, a lot of projects and people that raise their hand for how that money should be spent. And so, like everything else, that should compete in the budget process with, capital needs for higher education facilities and for technology upgrades for local schools and for maintenance on our own buildings. So there'll be a long list of worthy projects, and that's part of our job in the legislature is to prioritize those issues.
When it does become budget writing time, do you anticipate that a tax increase will be in there, or is this going to be the conversation that continues through 2016?
Well, we don't know yet. I mean, we'll be real frank. So that's why we're having this conversation around the state. Like I said, I think a lot of people are thinking, their reactions like mine, nobody ever wants to look at how we fund things. I mean, everybody would rather leave it the way it is. But you have to understand the need and our alternatives first. And so we'll wait and see after we finish. Like I said, it's a 15-city tour that we're on, and we finished 5 of them. So after we finish assessing the needs, we'll make that determination.
Would Tennessee ever consider toll roads, you think?
I personally wouldn't be in favor of toll roads because if you're going to take some of your existing roads and put tolls on them, then I think it's, I'm not certain that's what Tennesseans would ever be in favor of. And if you take and build a new road with toll roads, then again, I think that's a restriction that I'm not certain Tennesseans would actually welcome.
Commissioner, this $6 billion backlog, how does this impact the motoring public and what TDOT does in your planning and such?
Well, it all has to do with movement of traffic around the state, and so these are projects that we've identified as needed projects, and we just can't complete them. So every day that goes on, then that's a project that we wish we could start. We could help the citizens of Tennessee. We just are waiting for they have to get in line, and so when you get in that $6 billion line, sometimes it takes you a while to get up to the front, and that's the difficulty that we're in. And you hear today of just the needs of Williamson County that stack up to $250 to $300 million, and those are just the projects that we listed. There's more than that. So every community has needs, and we know what those needs are. We're listening about what other needs might be, and then we got to figure out, okay, how long do we want to take to satisfy the needs of the state of Tennessee, and how much would it cost?
What is the condition of our roads, and will they suffer? Will this backlog and kind of funding situation impact us long term?
Well, sure, long term it will. We've got great growth. We're ranked in the top 3 in the nation. I think the governor and I both, we don't want to go backwards. I mean, we're there. Let's maintain and let's get what we have. So we're maintaining our projects and our existing assets, which we need to do. But we also have additional needs that have to, because of this tremendous growth that we're having. And so it's really critical that we look at both of those, I think, for the state to prosper, especially economically and attracting new jobs. Transportation is one of the key features in bringing new jobs to the state.